The final point we want to raise when it comes to the setting is this point here on page 71, and you should mark this in your book. We're heading for a big brick wall built right across the street. That's a very strange place to build a wall. There's a gate in the wall with soldiers guarding it, and the people ahead of us are going through the gate. This is the entrance to the ghetto. So we could be in Warsaw because there was a very big ghetto there, but there was also a ghetto in Krakow. A ghetto is when you take one group of people, in this case Jews, and you take them out of the population and you gather them together in one place in a ghetto. So it's walled off from the rest of the Polish people. The Jews live in the ghetto, separated from everyone else. And here we have the ghetto wall in either Warsaw or Krakow, whichever city we're in at the moment. What we can see on page 69 is Felix really caring about Zelda. She puts her arm around my waist. I keep mine around her shoulders. I squeeze her tighter. The bond between Felix and his care for Zelda is growing, and we can see this as he tries to protect her. Unfortunately, at the end of the chapter, he's unable to protect her. Please don't, I croak. I wait for my imagination to come up with some reason. I tell him why he mustn't shoot her. But my head is burning and everything is spinning. He loses his imagination. His imagination fails him. And the very last line of this chapter, that when faced with the evil of Zelda about to be shot or taken from him at gunpoint, I haven't got any more stories. So we see a complexity in Felix. He's gone from thinking about him and reuniting with his family to real care and friendship of Zelda. On page 70, we find Felix really coming across Polish anti-Semitism. Lots of them, Polish people, are standing on the footpaths yelling unkind things like dirty Jews. He has been chased out of his house, and he was chased out of his town. But now, as he's walking with all the other Jews that have been gathered to go to the ghetto, he's come face to face with people saying very unkind things. Looking at the literary devices in chapter 8, on page 66 we see he's talking to Zelda and telling her a story. And the character he uses are William and Violet Elizabeth. This is an allusion. And the allusion is from Rick Crompton's book that's mentioned earlier, Just William. William and Violet Elizabeth are two characters in Crompton's book. We also find truncated sentences, short sentences to create tension. At the end of chapter 8, we have a great deal of tension. We find Zelda is being held at gunpoint, and these two children may be thrown into a truck and taken away from the ghetto with the other people. If you have a look at how he builds tension in here, the cobblestones hurt my face, gunshots hurt my ears, I start crying, I don't know what to do, I haven't got any more stories. These short sentences heighten tension, they're very powerful. We see them used earlier on as well. What was that noise? Gunshots. Everyone is screaming. Oh, I try to cling to her. Too late. Someone's dragging me away from her. These short sentences heighten tension because they're very forceful and say something very simplistically and move the story on very quickly. We have Felix's naivete. You can see here, lots of them are standing on the footpaths yelling unkind things. The abuse that's levelled at Felix is he's a dirty Jew. Of course we're dirty, he said. We've been walking. So he's misunderstanding it. He's taking them literally when they're supposed to be taken figuratively. He's not saying that he's physically dirty. He's saying his race is dirty. It's a racist comment. So the equivocation on the word dirty that we have is really important, and it causes dramatic irony. We realise they're racists, but he thinks they're just talking about how dirty their clothes and skin are.